turned it all the way off. My fault. Welcome in, welcome in. How y'all doing? Right there. Welcome in. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? What's the vibe? Let me know down in the chat. I want to know. I want to get to know y'all. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Let me know. All right. Let me see this. I'm sorry. YouTube is being YouTube at this point, right? Okay. Yeah, YouTube will get it together. So YouTube. All right. So checking to see if YouTube's working. We're gonna do our meditation once we get TikTok up, and then we're just gonna be chilling, vibing. Okay, I'll go over it a little bit. Hold on, my volume up. We're just gonna be chilling, vibing. Okay, I'll go over it a little. Right, because I need to start my nails. So, period. And singing goodbye to ice is hilarious. Alright, so where's it? Let's get in here. Welcome in, welcome in. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Let me know. It is kind of a thing facing the whole other way. Yeah, camera's just like deciding it's gonna be toward the wall and not towards me. Fine. Right. Okay. Alright, so let's get TikTok to join us here. Welcome in, guys. How y'all doing? I know. Gotta make sure YouTube, Twitch got their sound before we go over on TikTok, because as soon as I get TikTok's live up, it's kind of like hard for me to go check unless I go on my laptop, and that's just a lot of stuff being moved around. Okay, so welcome in, welcome in. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Let me know down in the chat. I do want to know. I do want to know how you're feeling, how you're doing, how the energy is treating you today. Okay, alrighty. You know, we just had that new moon. The energies of that new moon could be affecting you more than others, depending on what's going on in your chart, right? If you still don't have a good copy of your birth chart, let me know. I do have a website that is 100% accurate on their charts. So you can get that as long as you have your birth date, birth time. Okay, it's gonna be all right. So we are going to go ahead and do a quick grounding meditation so that we can just vibe for the rest of the live. But that's what we do when we come in on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays. Okay, alrighty. So why not the other 2 days of the week in our 5 day schedule? Because those are tarot days, I usually do my grounding meditation, all of that before I come live. To do the message. Okay, so do I still do it before we do it on our other 3 days? Yes, but you know what I'm saying. It's just that I'm on reading days, like tarot days. I'm ready to come in and start. Okay, so that's why we don't do meditations on tarot days. Okay. Hi Maria, how you doing? How you feeling? Let me know down in the chat. Okay, I do want to know. So we're gonna come into a comfortable seat. You can be laying down, legs crisscross applesauce. Right, go ahead. Find what is comfortable for self. Just gonna do a little. If you want to put your fingers into a mudra, all right, or just palms facing the sky, okay, whatever. If you this is your first time meditating or not your first time meditating, alrighty, I'm gonna let you do you because I'm just your guide today, right? I'm not here to force you to do anything, just guide you through the energy, okay? So whatever feels comfortable, I'm gonna do thumb and middle here, okay? Whatever feels comfortable. Spirit said good. And I like to put my crystals in my hands. So if you like to put your crystals in your lap, in your hands, go ahead, you could do that as well. Okay, if you don't have crystals, that's fine too. Alright. So when you're ready, close your eyes. And we're going to start by focusing on our inhale and our exhale. Inhale, getting into a rhythm. Exhale. Following your natural breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. When your mind wanders, just remember to return your focus back on your breath, okay? Gently, not forcefully, just guide your mind back to focusing on inhaling and exhaling. Let's do some neck rolls before we ground. We're gonna start chin to chest. Doesn't matter which way you rotate, clockwise or counterclockwise, okay? Just whenever you're ready, go ahead. Moving nice and slow. When you inhale, chin to sky. Inhale. Exhale, chin to chest. Moving through every nook and cranny. Inhale. You can reach your shoulders up on the inhale. Put them down on the exhale. Chin to chest. You're going to do a few more of these at your own pace. Let's do 4 by ourselves. Inhaling, chin to sky. Exhaling, chin to chest. Two more. Filling out every nook and cranny. And when you meet me back at chin to chest, you're gonna start rotating in the opposite direction. We're gonna do 6 of these on our own. Inhale, opposite. Feel these out. Turning your mind back to breath if it wanders about other things going on in the day. three more after this one. If your head, just feel out. Take the next couple very slow. Two more. One more. Inhale. Exhale, chin to chest. Then we're gonna roll up the spine. Little cat cow here. Hands, palms at your knees. If you are sitting up, if you are laying down, just roll your shoulders back and down. And when you're ready, we're going to imagine our aura fields all around us. Whatever color, just imagine your energy around your vessel. No, I just don't recommend the color black. Use vibrant colors from the rainbow to train your imagination. And once you have a clear image of the color radiating around you as energy, we're going to take all of that beautiful energy, bring it to the soles of our feet, and we're going to create a bridge from the soles of our feet, a light bridge all the way down to the earth's core. Okay? Becoming one with Mother Gaia. Taking however long you need here. You can always feel the energetic shift of oneness. When you're ready, you're going to bring all that beautiful energy you just connected with Mother Gaia. Okay, could be feeling a little like wanting to move. Okay, and I do not discourage that, you know. So I do encourage to move because sometimes the energy just got you wanting to flow, and it's better to flow on the go with the energy than to resist the energy. Okay, so if you gotta do a sway or two because you're feeling the lovely energies of Mother Gaia come up through that light beam all the way through the soles of your feet, all the way up in your body, then it is a-okay. Alrighty. Stillness and flow both have a place in meditation. Alrighty. When you're ready, you're going to connect a light beam from the crown of your head, your crown chakra, right? Your download center where all the light codes come in. You're going to create a light beam bridge all the way up to the sun's core. Yes, the very lovely sun that blesses us with its presence on this planet its core, its divine core, to connect us with the divine. As above, so below. The Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, the Mother, the Father, the Child. And then when you're ready, however long this takes, remember when you're first starting out, this can take you longer than when you repetitively do this day in and day out, okay? So if I'm moving too fast, pause the live if you can, or just do you, you know? Even with my voice guiding you, just do you. That's all I am right now, is your guide. You're gonna bring all that lovely, beautiful energy back in to your body, and then you're going to balance. Balance the physical realm, balance the spiritual realm, your yin and your yang within your vessel. Focusing our minds back on our breath whenever they wander. Not being harsh or cruel to yourself, because it is absolutely normal for your mind to wander during meditation. Gently give yourself a push back in the right direction. And once you're ready, I'm going to find a table with my eyes closed here. But once you're ready, and if you could put your crystals down, I don't want you to shake your crystals off your body here, but we are going to do a little bit of shaking, getting ourselves back into the present moment. We just joined hands in the ethers. We're coming back to our vessels. Alrighty, and we're gonna wiggle those toes, wiggle those fingers, do a little sway. You wanna do a little sway? And then shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Arms, legs, shake it out. Head, boom, 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 boom. Here, now, what's up? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? Amen. Alrighty. So let me know, okay? Let's see. Clifford, how you doing, Clifford? I understand what you're talking about. mm-hmm. Oh, okay. No, I get you, Clifford. Yes, but it's more powerful. It's gonna be more powerful without, you know what I'm saying, a good batch. Um, the now that could help. No, it could help. It's just not going to be as powerful as when you're sober. You know. Or as when you're touching the earth, right? So when you're touching the physical earth, right? Um, Grounding your energy is so much powerful than being in a building and doing it. But I want y'all to know how to do it in a building, okay? I want you to be practical now, all right? Because you need to know how to ground your energy from anywhere at any time, okay? Any situation, you need to be able to ground your energy, right? You need to be able to do it like that, okay? Because you know what I'm saying, that could be your how your energy responds and reacts with its surroundings, could be how the situation unravels, right? So you really want to be in control of your energy, okay? Alrighty. And Queen Goddess, we do our meditations, okay, before we start whatever we're doing in the live that day, okay? So that's always how we are gonna come in here already. We used to do this before September. He was healing from that injury. So before September, we that's how we came in all the time. So That's how we're going to continue it. That's how we're going to start the new year, right? Because that's how we did it all last year. That's how we're gonna do it all this year, okay? All right, because I always tell y'all, grounding your energy in a group versus grounding your energy as one you person. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all don't understand the energy we can cultivate on this planet for real. Okay, a group of people grounding their energy into the ethers. Mm. Mm. Okay, you know how excited I am. Now, these are cute. How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I gotta do my nails. So that's what we just want to be chilling today. Okay. I want to do my nails. I've been feeling like doing my nails, so that's what I'm gonna do. It's like another creative outlet for me. I don't know, like for y'all, but like for me personally, I just that's something I could be creative with. You know what I'm saying? I can get my hands a little dirty. If you didn't know, I literally have an entire nail set here. A nail drill. Okay, this is a nail drill, right? I have these acrylic stickers, so I can do my nails, right? But it's a project. You know what I'm saying? Doing your nails is a project because if you've never done your own acrylic nails before, I promise you it's a project, baby. It's not. It's not. You're not about to get out here like you thought you was doing a DIY arts and craft project. Okay, all right. You're not about to get on here and do that, right? Because promise you, that's what I thought I was coming in here to do too. Okay, that's what I thought it was gonna be. I was gonna be able to. Oh, let me. It was none of that. It was none of that. So I'm just trying to see what I got. Cause I don't. Not these. Okay. I got the blue over here. Boom. So tomorrow is our lesson day, and I found, okay, so y'all know how we always talking about the missing books of the Bible, right? We always talking about that, and how I always tell y'all that you have to decode the Bible, right? You don't read it for the surface level text. People hear surface level text and they get offended because they, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, come on, if you got spiritual context clues, it is a lot easier to read because you got the spiritual discernment to read it. You got the intuition to read it. You know what I'm saying? You got the abilities and the capabilities to read it, not like how somebody with the veil over their eyes is going to read it. You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. That's the difference between having your third eye open and reading the Bible versus having your third eye closed and reading the Bible. You don't have any spiritual discernment there. You know what I'm saying? To help you and guide you through the things, right? Um, and we were talking about how the books, the important books, the books that, you know what I'm saying, that talk about all these mystical creatures that used to be on this planet as well, right? The books that talk about situations, psychics, you know what I'm saying? The books that tell us about the things that we are currently seeing in our society today with more people awakening, right? Those books were missing because, you know, that's not, you know what I'm saying, they don't want y'all to know, okay? But the internet be doing its thing, okay? So I'm gonna let y'all know the internet be doing its thing because I always love my YouTube University. You know what I'm saying? Because I like the thing about YouTube is that the archive is so big that you can there's so much information on there that if you just search it, like you're gonna find like a lot of stuff you would not have thought was on there, right? Because you're like, what? Hold on. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, did I just add like 26 videos to our Boss Up playlist because the Boss Up playlist now has 26 videos regarding the missing Bible books? Okay, so now there's okay, the missing Bible books are in our Boss Up playlist now. So if you have read the Bible, if you haven't read the Bible, okay, then I need you like to branch out, read different versions. Okay, um, all of the different versions have their own little, you know what I'm saying, where it's like you do have to mm, decipher what's going on. Okay, alrighty. And hi, I'm good, hun. Thank you. Thank you, love. Okay. All right. So, um, yeah. Yeah, no, I'm okay, honey. If there's anything my ancestors and spirit guides want to tell me, they gonna tell me. They gonna get it to me one way or another. You know what I'm saying? They gonna find a way. They gonna find a way, man. Whether if that's yelling in my ear, okay, cause they'll yell in my ear now. All right. Or if that's through synchronicities, angel numbers, they gonna find a way. Ain't no way for them not to. They gonna find it. Okay. I'm trying to. Okay, these aren't the nails I'm thinking of. Welcome in. So yeah, so now we have all those books. I've been really wanting to read the Lost Book of Enoch. So like yeah, I'm okay, hun. Like I said, like I said, hun. If you want to vibe with us, that's cool. Okay. All right, but trying to see. I would have to clip the ends, and I don't think this is enough nails to be honest from this set. Let me see. Oh yeah, I need 10, right? Okay. How many is this? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, it was 10. I just wasn't letting you notice it. Alrighty. Yeah, and y'all know if I'm guided to a specific guides, like another psychic or another medium's page or something like that, then I'm guided to their page. But if I'm never guided to your stuff, like and you're like, oh, I got a message for you, I promise you, my ancestors can handle it. You know what I'm saying? I promise you, my ancestors can handle it. All right, they cool, they cool. You know what I'm saying? They don't need the assistance unless they ask for the assistance, right? Now, it's just that all these nails are super tiny. I got all the tiny ones left. So hold on. Hold on, yeah, cause wait. Obviously, I'm gonna have to like fix some of these lengths. It's either that or do a full set of acrylic. I got pink, white, and clear. Pink is always the hardest for me. I don't know why. I did some pink and white nails, and pink was being so annoying. I was like, dang, pink, just go on there. That perfect bead they be talking about, though. You know what I'm saying? My respect for nail technicians went up after trying to do my own nails, right? Because you sitting there thinking it's low key easy. It look easy, you watch your nails get done several million times. You think it's low key easy. Whole time, whole time, they tricked you. Right? Whole time they made you think this was an easy skill. No, it is not. Okay? It is not an easy skill. Alrighty. I think it's one to learn. Like, interesting. Especially if you're a creative, right? If you like art and things like that. Nail, like, nail, acrylic nails is actually pretty fun for creatives. Right? Because you get to express self through a creative outlet. And for many, that is, what they want, whether that's fashion, makeup, hair, you know, uh, nails is to express themselves through art. Okay. And that's how they're expressing themselves. So why does it fit on the thumb so perfect? Like it's giving the other one might actually be too big. I think is this the only size of this though? Okay. These two are kind of big. Hold on, y'all. Trying to find some big ones because now look at my hands. I don't got that big. My sizes aren't that big. But because this finger, and it's always a toss up between these two. You know what I'm saying? If I can find one that fits this one, then I can put the big one on this one. But if I can find one that fits this one, it's just gonna have to go on this one. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. So I do want you guys to check out those books in there though, because I didn't put together a 250 almost 50 book playlists for the collective for no reason. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do that for no reason. You know what I'm saying? I sat on YouTube for y'all. Okay, collecting almost 250 books just for y'all. Okay, alrighty, so that we can grow, learn, and evolve. Right? You wonder how I did my research. You wonder where how I learned things. Okay, reading, researching. You know what I'm saying? Doing um learning different patterns, okay, in the physical and the spiritual, right? There's a lot of self work books in there, okay, how to get your emotions under control, right? How to manifest, right? How to use your subconscious mind appropriately, right? There is a lot of different concept books in there. I do not think I put Think Rich, Grow Rich, like not that book, you know what I'm saying? But there's more spiritual, more philosophy books in that realm of what that one author was trying to teach in that. Okay. What was his name? I'm sorry. It was like Poor Dad, Rich Dad or something like that. I forget what it was called. I'm trying to remember. It was one of those books, right? And the difference, but like mainly what was the difference in those things? The mindset, right? But between a poor father and a rich father, the mindset. It's not that one has more money than the other, but that one believes they can versus the other. Okay? Right? That's what they say when they're like, oh, you have a poor mindset. Your mindset is poor, meaning you don't know how to strengthen it. Okay? To do what you need it to do for you in reality, right? In life. You're allowing it to control you versus you controlling it, right? It's mind over matter, not matter over mind. Okay. So definitely go read those books. Okay. Alrighty. That playlist is subjected to grow. Okay. Alrighty. However, whenever the good Lord puts some informational videos in my face on YouTube, y'all know I'm quick to put it in there, okay? I'm quick. Oh, let me help the collective boss up their brain real quick, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna put it in there for y'all, okay? So I'm really excited because I want to read about the mermaids in the Lost Book of Enoch. So that's what I'm gonna go do in there, alrighty. And much love to you, Ti. How you doing? Yes, that's so I'm really excited to read that book for sure because a lot of people, like don't know that there's mermaids in the Enoch book, right? But that's the main reason Enoch got deleted from the Bible, right? That's why they took it out. Okay, you know. Otherwise, it's kind of like, why did Walt Disney know so much? Okay, why did Walt Disney know so much about the Little Mermaid? Right, you ask yourself that question now, because those people, Disney is not nice. You know what I'm saying? Walt Disney, that occult, it's not it's not nice over there. Okay, I don't try to talk too many things about Disney, what Walt Disney got going on, because Walt Disney is one of those places that's really, really weird on the upside down part of things. Okay, so I don't. We don't got to talk about it on the live or nothing. If you want to talk about it more, join our Discord server. Okay, we can talk about the Matrix all day, guys. I just can't do it on live as much. Okay, because TikTok getting its new owners. You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna be looking for people who out here trying to speak up against the new regime. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm over here talking about too many conspiracy theories, right, then they're gonna be like, keep an eye on her. They can keep an eye on me though. If they don't and they blink, their empire might be gone. If they don't and they blink, their empire might be gone. I promise. Okay. Okay, so hey, that's on them. Whatever they decide to do on that, that's on them. All I know is that I'm bringing all the darkness to the light with my brethrens and sisters in the ethers. Okay, all the divine soldiers, all the 144,000 um, light souls that have been brought here. Okay, here's my. We're all working together to bring about this change. Okay. So that's what I'm gonna do. And if they underestimate me and the rest of us, if they blink, you know what I'm saying? If they blink because they decided to underestimate the spiritual community, underestimate the psychic community, right? They decided they're going to underestimate all of us and the things that we were, really willing to do for the light, right? And how willing we were to take down the ancient evils. You know what I'm saying? So if they keep underestimating that, it is what it is. They already did, as you can see, because if they didn't underestimate it, right, then they would have had a more thought out plan when it comes to how they approach this mass awakening, especially in 2024. But as you can see, they had no plan for the mass awakening in 2024. Absolutely no plan whatsoever other than Project 2025, you know what I'm saying? Because for some reason they thought that plan was going to help the right, bring in some like dark timelines, right? And y'all already know, I tell y'all all the time, this is my last lifetime. I ain't coming back. Okay. So we gotta figure this out right now. That's our only options. Our only option, guys. It's our only options. All right. I I mean, like, I really shouldn't. I mean, like, if you are new to this journey, I understand. You probably just finding out about all this stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? Probably only really believed in aliens before your spiritual awakening. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously the government was lying about it, right? But coming more into your spiritual journey, learning about how deep some of these occults are and how deep, you know, the influence on the government it has, right? It's a lot to come into contact with. if you're new here. You know what I'm saying? If you watch my previous videos, because I do recommend watching my videos from 4 years ago, because that's when I started the channel, right? And they were purely focused on the Matrix and the things they were going to try and pull, come 2025, come 2026, come, you know what I'm saying? Which was already in a prediction chart, when I started my journey, because I told y'all, research, research, research. Other psychics have predicted already. The ones that awoken before us, they already put the whole thing out on the table. I already showed y'all before. They put the whole thing out on the table. You follow me on Threads. If you are in our Discord server, you have seen the image because I've posted the image in there. Okay. You can go on and see that image, but literally that image was created in 2016. 2016. Everything that has played out since 2016, the last decade, okay, and then some, was written out on that paper, okay. If you're like, no, yes, the last decade was on that paper, okay. You ain't know about it, okay, but I basically had a cheat code for the last 6 years, and you know what I'm saying, I had the cheat code. I was sitting there with the little paper like, oh my goodness, and you know, all of it was intuitively correct because here we are. You know, so I'm grateful for that person, whoever decided to, you know, get on the internet and use their powers for good there. um but it's like, because it's mainly a list of conspiracy theories, people don't pay attention to it, you know. They're like, ah, but it's like that list was created by an intuitive. Like, someone who intuitively created that list for the rest of the world, right? And we're going to sit here and we'll act like the things on it aren't actually unfolding today. Nah, I think once I get them on, I can reshape them. Maybe, we'll see. But yeah, so definitely, definitely, definitely join the Discord. Especially, like I always tell y'all, I'm always gonna tell you this. It's very easy to make the masses believe that something is a conspiracy theory. It's super easy. You know what I'm saying? All I gotta do is deny the truth, deny the truth, deny the truth. You know what I'm saying? Deny, deny, deny. And then what do you do? And then you put then you put, that's not what's going on over there. False information, false. You know what I'm saying? You lead them down their rabbit holes, saying that they're just conspiracy theorists. Those people are crazy. They think Jeffrey Epstein has an island where he's just sex trafficking kids. Like, that's how easy it was. I just want y'all to know. That's how easy it was. Because to convince y'all, to convince the entire world, it was just a conspiracy. Right now, for the intuitives, y'all, you know, in the back of your mind, in the back of your soul, you like, nah, y'all lying. I know that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? But for everybody else who still has the veil over their eyes, you know, for everyone else, it was like, okay, they're not doing that, cool. All right. Good to know. All right, so it's just fake news. Those conspiracy theorists, you know, they always talking about the government doing dirty and shiesty things. Like, leave them alone. Y'all ate it up. Left no crumbs. You know what I'm saying? Left no crumbs. When the government sat there and lied about Jeffrey Epstein, the the world ate it up. No, 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 no. Oh yeah, ate them lies up. Just ate them up. Ate them up. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? Not enough people consciously to say, let me go, let me see, what are they talking about? You know what I'm saying? Not enough people stopped to be like, wait, what? But why is somebody spreading lies about a island where they are trafficking kids anyway? You know what I'm saying? Because if somebody told me that, I would have been like, what you mean? A what? An island where they what? Who? No, we gotta look this up. Hold on. Let's get on the internet. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. You know what I'm saying? Because there's there's no way you hear something like that and you're like, the government said it was just a conspiracy theory though. The government, the government, the government said. Okay. When was the last time the government was trustworthy? All right. All right. The government said though. You know what I'm saying? Like the government said they ain't find nothing. Oh. Guess it's not true then. You know what I'm saying? Guess it's not true. You know what I'm saying? That's how people really viewed Jeffrey Epstein until 2019, where it was like, oh guys, so yeah, nah, he is a child predator through and through. He's vicious. He's diabolical. This is a demon walking among us. Sorry, y'all. We lied, but we're not gonna tell you we lied. We just gonna act like we found new information. Like, and then hold on to the Epstein files for 5 years, 6 years. Like, you gonna tell me y'all really fell for that one? You know what I'm saying? So when you realize that so many people fell for that in the early 2000s all the way to 2019, right? Because there were sightings, there were stories, there were court cases as early as the early 2000s, right? Way before 2019, right? So that long it took it took the world about almost 2 to 3 decades to realize what was going on. Just kind of over everybody's head, you know. So when it was that easy for something that horrific, right, something that horrifying, it was that easy. I need y'all to understand how easy it is today to still do this to the masses. Okay? Alrighty? And if you're not aware of what's going on, already, all these things that they classify as conspiracy theories, okay, are the same thing they classify the Jeffrey Epstein style at. You know what I'm saying? They did the same exact. It's the same pattern. Nothing. They have not changed anything, but gotten a little better at it. You know what I'm saying? It's just the same pattern, though. It's the same cycle. You know, where they're doing this to you, to the collective, and it's disgusting. You know, it should not be this way. And that's why I said we bring in all the darkness to the light. They're not gonna have anywhere to hide or hide this information from us, okay? Because it's not okay, right? The things that they've done in the dark is not okay. And they sit here and tell us to our face we tripping, we cuckoo, lock us up in the asylum, right? Like, because they out here doing it and they don't want others to know they're doing it. Like, imagine how many people got locked up in the cuckoo asylum because they figured out what the government was doing, and the government said, actually, that's a conspiracy. Like, and the world was like, those conspiracy theorists, man. Y'all are so crazy, bro. Y'all always trying to talk bad about my government, man. Like, are you okay? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Promise you on God. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. You're like, I don't know. I've just been somebody that has been extra interested in the things that government has been doing behind our back since I was young. Because I've always felt like they were doing things behind our back. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? From a young age. And I tell y'all, I have my intuitive gifts from a young age. You know what I'm saying? These aren't brand new out the woodwork. These are since I was literally remember my first moment of consciousness. I've had my psychic gifts. Okay. So yes, I would, hear certain things and I'd be like, huh, let me look into that. Yes, as a kid, bro. As a kid. You mean to tell me, little old me, was out here more interested in these conspiracies than the adults that ran the country? Little old me, I haven't even been on this planet for even maybe let's say that was it not even a half a like a decade and a half. I wasn't even on the planet for a full decade and a half. You know what I'm saying? Before I was like, the government is up to something. They up to some shicey stuff. Hey, something is not right here. You know what I'm saying? Before, so it took me almost 15 years to realize something was going on with this government. As a 50, you know what I'm saying? 15 years. It took some of y'all 30, 30, 40, 50 plus years, right? Um, to realize this. And I'm I'm petrified at why it took so long. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't get it. I do not get that. Okay. When, especially when they were talking, like, when did I start getting into conspiracy theories? When they were talking about the Walmarts being turned into concentration camps. When they were saying that Walmarts were being turned, like they were taking abandoned Walmarts, like shut down Walmarts and turning them into concentration camps. That's when I started honing in on my first conspiracy theory. You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, "What you mean? What? Willis? What?" No, no, what are we talking about right now? So I had to look into it. Those videos are literally back around my high school days. Okay, so that was literally um maybe a little bit let me see. Talking about 20, so hmm if I'm thinking of the right house, it's anywhere between 2012 and 2015, 2016. My bad. Anywhere from that, anyone those 4 years in there, right? There were videos being made talking about the shut down Walmarts, abandoned Walmarts being turned into concentration camps. Okay, and as of of course, you're almost a teenager. Well, about to be how old was I, bro? All right, so that's like 4 years. That's okay. So that's anywhere from 14, yeah, to 10. Okay, um, so 10 years old to 14 years old was when I heard of that, going around, right? And I was curious because I was like, what the heck, Like we're just allowing them to change WalMarts into concentration camps and nobody's saying anything. Hello, why are there full out videos on the internet? But yeah, it was very interesting, and it's like I promise you, this life has literally ended me up here. Like because me having my gifts so young, right? Not understanding them young, but having them young. Um, and then what you call it? Me being interested in history, me being interested in conspiracies. You know what I'm saying? All of that. When I was introduced to tarot at 16 years old, I had to think about it. I was like, when was I? 16 years old when I was introduced to tarot through a friend, right? And so ever since, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, hey, I have been into it. I think I didn't get my first deck until I was 18, though. So I didn't get my first deck until I was 18, but literally, my life literally just said, yeah. If you look back on it, you're like, everything makes sense. Everything makes sense. Even my to become a film director, right? It wasn't ever about the job film directing itself, right? But digital storytelling. Okay. And I realize that now because I'm like, hey, I when I was younger, the whole purpose of me wanting to make movies was to bring people joy, was to bring people happiness, right, with my expression of art. Okay. That was the reason I wanted to be a film director. I wanted people to feel something from my art. Um, and as you can see, I'm a content creator now. So God said I just had to we just had to adapt the plan, but it's still the plan. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, alrighty, God, I get you, you right. It's just that my plan, even though it was intuitively correct, it was God just said it wasn't supposed to be with those desolate demons, okay, in Hollywood. That's all it was. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Good Lord didn't want me being around those occultists in Hollywood. So the good Lord said, if you can still have everything you want, just ain't gonna be hanging around those Hollywood stores. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna be hanging around them. Okay. And that's fine with me, good Lord. You know what I'm saying? That's fine with me. Shoot. I don't know what they be doing behind closed doors, and I promise you, you don't want to. Okay? Some of these people, I really think they like y'all. I'm just being honest. Y'all really think some of these occult Hollywood stars really like y'all, and that they're not using you for your energy, so that they could be a star. You know what I'm saying? While your energy is being drained from you so that you can't be a star. They're using your star energy so that they can be a star. But you out here giving it to them willingly, so you know what I'm saying? Who gonna stop it? Who gonna stop it? The only answer to that question is you. You are the person that is supposed to sit there and not give access to your energy any longer. Right? Um I usually fall off channels like this has been a recurring thing I've seen where a lot of creators, content creators that were back in the day, you know what I'm saying, I feel like YouTube spoiled a lot of them, you know what I'm saying, because they really got like this materialistic energy like flowing around in their lives now, you know. And it is just very interesting to me because as a kid, like I watched the Ace Family. I don't know if anybody else watched the Ace Family growing up. I watched the Ace Family growing up, right? They used to be so fun. You know what I'm saying? They used to be like these lovely people on this you know, where they come and enjoy each other's company on the screen and stuff. Yes, they, you know, do they pranks and everything. They just had their baby L, right? So this is like in the beginning of their content journey, right? When they were like real people just trying to make it. You know what I'm saying? Um, that's when I loved them the most, right? Then after a few years, okay, this is around when their second child was born. Uh, right, so their second child was born. They named her Alea. So you know what I'm saying. I was there. I remember I was born 2002, so I my name is pretty rare in America, in the United States of America. America. Arab though, you know, in Arab countries though it's not, because you know, it is an Arab name. But do I think my parents knew that when they named me? No. You know what I'm saying? They was gonna put it as Aaliyah, okay? They really thought they was gonna put Aaliyah on that paper, okay? So I'm pretty sure they did not know what happened there. They just picked a name, honestly. Um okay, I'm just grateful my name ain't Brittany. Okay, that's all I'm grateful about. Yeah, that's all I'm grateful about. No shade to the Britneys. I'm grateful my name ain't Brittany. That's all. Okay. So yeah, they named their daughter Alea. They spell it differently from mine. Okay, y'all know the spelling of my name, Alayaa. Hers is Alai, and the I has two dots on it, which is Arabic spelling, right? Two dots on it, and then another A. Okay. But that was their youngest daughter's name, that they just had at that time. And around that time they were starting like to be able to like afford better stuff, but it was like the energy started to get weird before they had their son. Okay. Like when they had her, that's when I started feeling off about the channel. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't really want to like watch or participate in it anymore because the energies just felt weird. You know, that's when they did a whole thing. That's when they used to. That's back in the day. That's Ace Family when they had a theme song. Ace Family. You know what I'm saying? So Ace Family when they had a theme song. Okay. Right, that's around the time where I was like falling off on watching them because I was like, no, it just didn't feel the same no more. It really did feel like they was really doing it for the gram. And I feel like a lot of people who like their content in the beginning said that too. Like it felt like they were just doing stuff just for the views. You know what I'm saying? Just try to get that view count up so that YouTube would pay them. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, I fell off from them. Right. I knew about the son being born, and then I heard about the breakup, and I was like, and then Catherine Pierce went through a spiritual awakening. Uh, what? What? Okay, girl. Look, that's when I zoned back in, y'all. When I seen Catherine Pierce, she was starting to get into sound baths, meditations. Sis is getting into crystals. I was like, wait a second, what you doing over here, sis? Let me see. What's going on? And then I hear about the breakup with Austin. I'm like, oh. I don't care about the tea. I'm trying to figure out that led to your spiritual awakening, having to know your self-worth, love yourself enough to separate from that man. Okay, yeah. I see you, right? Like awesome, bro. Like that is so awesome to me, to see someone, right, go through that change, through that shift, in real time, right? Especially someone who had a big platform based off materialism do a whole 360 flip on a spiritual journey. Like, whoa, right? Like that materialism had them step back for a second. Like, wait a second. Maybe this is not what I should be doing with my life. Maybe there's more. You know what I'm saying? So, like, even with that kind of fandom and amount of money to still be able to do that is very beautiful. You know, for her. I think she wrote a book and stuff. Me thinking the nail is crooked. I think that's not the issue. The issue is one is more rounded than the other. As you can see, that's what I say when I do my nails. It is a process, right? Because I have perfectionism tendencies. Okay, my OCD won't start bugging. But since this is like something new for me, I like give myself more grace to mess it up, you know? Right? Like I give myself the opportunity to make my nails just look ugly, right? If that's so how they come out. Because, I'm still learning, okay? It'd be different. It'd be different if I like that calm little chair, humble abode, right? It'd be different if it's a professional nail artist doing my hand, You know what I'm saying? And I'm paying you over $65. I don't like to pay nobody over $65 because I like basic nails. And if I'm paying you over $65 for coffin basic nails, I'm upset. So, so therefore, it's gonna be just that. That's my price unless I'm getting like design rhinestones. You know what I'm saying? If you getting all that stuff, I understand. You know what I'm saying? Why it's so expensive. But I'm not that kind of gal. Okay, I'm not that kind of gal. All right, I'll be okay with my coffin nails. Okay, pink and white. That's all they gotta be, pink and white. They don't even gotta do all that extra stuff. Okay, I don't need it to do none of that extra stuff. I just need it to look classy. Okay, period. That's it. That's all. Um, everybody's different. You know what I'm saying? Some people want their nails to look, classy. Some people want their nails to be all out showstoppers. Okay, I am not that person. I probably mess up those nails in the first day anyway. Okay, so it's no reason for me to have those kind of nails. I did round this one out just a tad bit more on the ends. Okay, I see. All right, it's fine. I just wanted to make sure it. Oh, this got to be a big one. Ooh, I'm taking that in a lot. Okay. Yeah, I'm taking that in a lot. Yeah, but it's just, you know, I, if I'm like, if it's a professional, like I'm paying you, then my nails better not come out messed up. You know what I'm saying? Especially since I realize my go-to is always the pink and white. It's rare for me to be like, let me spice things up because I know what looks good on my hands and I want it to look good. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to do all that extra stuff sometimes. Right now, if I'm feeling like it, you know what I'm saying? Because I think so serious, I've only designed my nails maybe like one time, so serious, intentionally one time. Gone into the nail shop and was like, go ahead. And I think it was some fall nails too. I wanted some fall nails. I was like, go ahead, run them fall nails for me, Ben. Ben snapped on them nails. That's all I got to say. That's all I have to say is Ben snapped on those nails. He did what he had to do. Okay. Um, and yeah, so other than that, you know what I'm saying? I really don't do designs, you know what I'm saying? If it's a fake nail, like already come like pre-designed like this, you know what I'm saying, then it is what it is. But if it's like I gotta go in, tell the nail tech what it is I want, you know what I'm saying? Mm-mm. That's a lot. That's rare to happen. Okay, then me getting the pink and the white nails, right? And mind you, I used to get my nails done all the time. I told y'all. I grew up in a materialistic family. Um, so therefore, yeah, I got my hairs done, nails done, everything did all the time. And I still do when I feel like it. You know what I'm saying? Like I take care of myself, but like all that extra stuff, bro. Like it's just if you know what I'm saying, like if I got time, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it, but it's not mandatory. You know what I'm saying? I'm not relying on it to be a certain type of way, to look a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. But like I used to get them done all the time, all the time. Hair done every 2 weeks, nails did every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? Um, uh, got humbled on how expensive that truly was in my early adulthood, right? And I learned how to start doing a lot of stuff my own. You know what I'm saying? Learned how to do my own hair, right? Learned how to do my own nails. Okay, as you can see, once I turned 18, Leia was really trying to save $1 or two. Okay, she was not out here trying to spend all this money. Okay, because mind you, when you're 15, 16, 17, 18, and you ain't got no bills or nothing like that, not a single one. Okay, not even a car note, not a car insurance, not even a phone bill. Okay, but doing your nails and doing your hair, easy, easy, easy. Okay, it's easy. I can go spend as much money as I want because I got a job and no bills. The heck? All right. And then of course, no good, no role models. So of course, you're out here spending that money in your early teens instead of saving it for your early adulthood. So yeah, you know what I'm saying. It was one of those rude awakening type situations, right? That's why I had to start learning how to do so much stuff on my own. I realized ain't nobody gonna pay for it forever, you know? Your job, you know what I'm saying? That 9 to 5 ain't gonna hold stuff down unless you working the right amount of hours. And who finna break their backs for them 9 to 5 jobs? Like, no, I promise you, no, bro. My body has already been beaten up and battered by real life. Why do I need to go and stress it out at work? You know what I'm saying? No, no. Okay, no. Okay, don't know. I was in a car accident in 2022, right? Um, yeah, voodoo curse spirit can't with some people, but it did. You know what I'm saying? My hip um had a reaction to being smashed in. So yeah, like I'm like, I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? I could never go back and work like I did as a teenager. You know what I'm saying? Because my body is like, baby girl, you can learn martial arts, you can learn how to fight, but you gonna sit here and you gonna break down your body working this job. This is not strengthening you, right? This is not helping you learn. This is not helping you grow. You know what I'm saying? So I had to stop, bro. I just had to stop. The 9 to 5 job was just gonna end up breaking my back at the end of the day, and I was gonna be mad about it. So it's just what it was, y'all. Because I'm too like I was too hard of a worker for those companies anyway. You know what I'm saying? Way too hard of a worker. People be like, I've never gotten fired from a job. That's how hard of a worker I was. And I quit jobs like it was nothing. But no, I ain't never got fired from a single job in my life. I quit on the spot so fucking fast. Excuse my language, but I will. Um, but when it comes to being fired, I ain't never been fired. You know what I'm saying? And I've had people like conversations with my family be like, oh, everybody's always, everybody's been fired at least once, and I'm just sitting there like, can it be me? I'll leave before you fire me. I will dead serious walk out before you fire me. Right? Like I don't. Nope. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? But it's like nah. So it's like there's people out there. Hey, they've never been fired. That's not everybody's experience. Everybody's experience is not being let go from a job. You know what I'm saying? That's not everybody's experience. All right. That's why I could never work in the 9 to 5 industry again. You know, because it's just weird to me. But I did it. You know what I'm saying? And you know what happened every time I was in those restaurants, in those places, and I seen people in their 50s, right, in their 60s working at these fast food restaurants. You know what it did to me inside? I feel bad because I'll be sitting there like it couldn't be me. I cannot. No, I cannot think about at 50, 60 years old still working at McDonald's, bro. I'd cry. I'd cry. Like I would literally cry. Right. So I like of course I felt bad because it's like I don't know what happened in their situations to have them in this situation, but it's like this is not you know what I'm saying? The way the pay was, you know, minimum wage and everything, it's just not okay to have people out here living like this. Um and then you're not even gonna pay them to sustain life. You know, it's just it's ridiculous, right? So I had to go. I just couldn't. I couldn't. Right, working those jobs and stuff. I was not about to break my back for not a single person on this planet or a single corpse ration corporation. Okay, ain't gonna happen. Right? Because they tripping. They're tripping on that one. You know what I'm saying? If you don't think they're tripping, you know what I'm saying? Well, ain't nothing ever happened to you. And couch, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing ever happened to you. At that point, that's what I'm going to think is that ain't nothing ever happened to you in that field. Um, I'm not saying that you can't have a field that is technically run by corporations be your sole driven purpose to be on this planet, right? You could be divinely called to do something different with it, though, than how it's currently being used, right? But doesn't mean you're not called to go into that field, right? So, um, everyone is going to be different. Okay, told y'all this was a big nail. I had to get it like and it's still not doing. It'd be like that, Yoda. So yeah, so it's just like I had to get out of that, right? But yeah, when you're a kid, you know, you're in high school and you have a job, right? It's seriously like, oh, you know, you can spend the money, do what you know. No, no, no. If you had a good role model, if you had a good role model, that's not how you would have done it. Okay, right? But I've noticed in my community, what happens is we just rather pass down the generational curse than a generational blessing. So, and it's not like that doesn't stem from deeper issues stating dating back all the way to slavery, but it definitely has some issues to it, right? That we can't just ignore. Okay, um, because we need to. Honey, nobody's complaining, and if you feel that type of way, you can go ahead and swipe up. Okay, okay, all right, simple as that. Now, um, all I'm talking about is the reality of things. Okay, so when you have a good role model, okay, right, you're not gonna go out in your teens spending money, you know what I'm saying, on ludicrous things because you're taught to save your money, to invest your money, right, to put your money into good things when you have a good role model. I'm saying what I've noticed in our community is that we rather not demonstrate those behaviors versus all the time, not everybody, but most of the time, right? There's people rather not demonstrate those behaviors because they didn't really get it together themselves until their 30s or their 40s. You know what I'm saying? So they couldn't even, I mean, if they had their kids at 20s but they didn't get their lives together until their 30s and 40s, you know what I'm saying, it's kind of hard to teach a child who's about to be in their 20s already how to get their life together too. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like we have to work on that as a whole. You been looking for me, Tay? Period. You know we be on. I think the new schedule is up on TikTok somewhere in the post. So if you go on there, you can see what time we coming on. We do our lives pretty early. except for it's gonna be Fridays. Fridays, I might change the time on Fridays, but right now we're looking for a group of people who can play every Friday Among Us to strengthen their intuition and their spiritual discernment. Okay, so we can find a group of people. I need nine other souls who want to strengthen their intuition, strengthen their spiritual discernment. Even if you already have good intuition and spiritual discernment, if you want to play for fun, you know what I'm saying, and use your gifts as a mechanism in the game, as a actual tool in the game, to winning the game, you know what I'm saying, then we could do that too. Because I there's a way to play very beginner level and a way to play very expert level, okay, master level with this, okay. That's why I like this game particularly for teaching it, when it comes to your intuition, your spiritual discernment, okay, because we can start at very low level in the game and go all the way up where you have to trust your intuition and your spiritual discernment, okay. There are settings on that game that make that game really impossible, okay. Okay, y'all, I'm serious. That game can get very impossible very fast unless you break out your spiritual gifts, okay. So that's why I was like, that's I'm trying to find our group of people who can do it regularly, okay. Of course, um if you decide to join on as on the team as somebody who wants to play versus just one of our family members who wants to strengthen it, okay, that is a different role, okay. That is something different. That is something that you could eventually be ended up getting paid for, okay. So there's opportunities, you know what I'm saying. I'm an opportunist, all right, and I'm gonna give y'all opportunities at the end of the day, right? But we gotta support each other, right? We gotta look out for each other, and we gotta build our community. Okay, that's the only way I can, you know what I'm saying? I can start looking out for my family. Okay, okay, is we look out for each other. All right. So yeah, but there we go. There we go. Yeah. Sorry, I had to fix that. Y'all know how I feel about people coming in my chat and being crusty and dusty. I'm glad that feature makes it really easy for me to just ban people. If y'all don't know my live stream rules, y'all, that's how I am. It's in my rules. You know what I'm saying? I ain't like nobody. It's all there. It's all there and how we moving on this channel. Okay, the rules are the rules. Alrighty. And the final rule is if you get out of hand, I will ban you. Simple as that. Okay. For moderators, whenever that opportunity does open itself up and present itself for the channel, okay, we will need moderators, okay, and knowing these kind of things about me now, right? What I'm looking for to keep the peace within our chat versus what disturbs the peace in our chat, all right, and getting rid of that. You know what I'm saying? Knowing those kind of things, be good. And keep your watch time up. Keep your watch time up. Okay, whenever the good Lord blesses our journey, you want to make sure you do have good watch time for moderation if you do want to go down that route and joining us in that way for this journey. Okay, alrighty. So that's all gonna be beautiful things down the line. We talk about more as we see those changes and the growth that God is allotting for us. Okay, so then, you know what I'm saying? I just keep y'all ready. You know what I'm saying? I just keep y'all ready because I want y'all to be ready because whatever God's gonna do is gonna be what God do. Okay? Period. I'm patient with it. You know, we've been doing this for a year, right? So hey, we gonna be here. I'ma still love y'all. I'ma still help y'all. Okay? Ain't no rush to nowhere. Okay? Alrighty, I told y'all we ain't even stopping this journey until I got gray hair anyway. Okay? So it don't really matter how fast we get anywhere because at the end of the day, Alea is not retiring until she got gray hair. Okay? Yes, third person talking about myself. Alrighty. Sound like my soul wanted to talk about itself, but talk about the vessel. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all have that ever happened to y'all where your soul is talking talking about the vessel, and the vessel is talking about the soul, or the shadow self is talking about the higher self, or the higher self is talking about the shadow, or the ego is talking. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ever have that happen when you is going back and forth? It's one addressing the other. You know what I'm saying? Okay. During your shadow work, usually what happens is your higher self guides your shadow through the shadow work, through the process, through the emotions, so that you can feel them, so you can experience them, that so that you can process them and move on from them, right? Heal them, right? So it's very interesting. Because even when I do it to myself, and I'm like, okay, guys, don't openly start talking about each other, bro. But how you doing? How you? I've been good. Thank you for asking. Okay, ask words. I'm not even trying right now. Thank you for asking. I am doing great. I hope you are doing good. Okay, let me know down in the chat. All right. So yeah. What time is it? We've been on for a good hour and 30 minutes. I love you guys. I do, but I gotta figure out what I'm doing with these nails. I gotta finish them. Um, finish shaping them if I end up wearing these ones. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because I might, I don't know. I don't know. I got this whole big thing. I got this whole big thing of these, right? Yes, Abu, I remember. I remember, Abu. How you doing? How you feeling? Let me know, okay? So, what you call it? Which words? Get this whole big kit. It's just, do I feel like playing around with making perfect beads of acrylic today? Okay. Right? You know, do I feel like doing all of the extra that comes with it? You know? It's not bad. It's just that I also need to change the top shape. So I'm also trying to make it fit. I'm gonna have to figure it out, guys. I don't know. We'll figure it out. If I don't, if tomorrow you see me with no nails, she decided it was just for the best, not to stress about it. Okay, just so y'all know, if I come back tomorrow with no nails, it was because I decided it was better not to stress. And there's a nail missing. That might be our sign, guys. Right. So you might not be seeing me with nails tomorrow because I just lost a nail, and I'm gonna take that as a sign to go ahead and chill out. I'm gonna do my toes though. I'm gonna do my toes. That's easy. Y'all know I just paint my toenails white. So with the with the with the with this. Okay. Sally Hansen. Yes, yes, it's Sally Hansen. It's Insta Dry because I don't know about y'all, but I don't have 20 hours to be waiting on nail polish to dry. Okay. I got 5 to 10 minutes before my ADHD have me around. Okay. Alrighty. If they not dry by then and I'm moving and they get messed up, I don't even know what to do. Okay. I don't even know what to do. You just rewatched the video? You're welcome. Oh, oh no, I can't finish the. Oh wait, okay, wait. Maybe I can read it on the screen. Oh, so much. Oh, I gotta get the love bomb for that. That touched my heart, hun. Thank you for saying that. I couldn't read it because it's got like this thing right here, blocking the this comment section on the YouTube and Twitch section, and so I was like, oh wait, the chat is on the screen though. Like if you go on our YouTube or Twitch channel, you'll see the comments are on the screen, like just like how TikTok has it, but basically it's now not just in the chat; it's also, you know, on the screen. So I think that's a really cool feature for us to have It's not free though. It's not free for us to have, but it is a cool feature for us to have, and it just honestly helped me so that I can read that very beautiful text message. Because y'all know I'm here to help, right? And knowing that the things we're talking about, the messages that the good Lord brings through me for y'all, right, is y'all don't even know. It's like I'm just trying to keep myself from crying at this point. Like at this point, that's what's going on, right? Because it is so beautiful and it means literally so much to me. Like I don't know, like yeah, I don't know. It just, you know, I get flustered. Okay, all right. I get so. I'm not even all that shy like that. Don't do that. All right. So I probably won't be doing these nails. I still can't find it. I love y'all. Okay, I love y'all. Alrighty. Um, you're welcome. You're welcome, hon. Thank you. Alright, so tomorrow is our lesson day. Okay, lesson day tomorrow. Right. Um, we should wait. We should wait. I feel like we need to finish the book of Job, doing our etymology series on the book of Job before we can go to do any etymology on the book of Enoch. And there's two books of Enoch, so I'm like, we haven't even finished the book of Job yet, right, on the channel. So we need to go ahead and finish that, finish the book of Job. So we can't get into the. I don't want to start other any other books in the Bible until we finish the etymology series on one book. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, why are we starting with the book of Job? Because that was the recommended book we start with in the video I went over with you guys about etymology. Okay, so all of that's in the Boss Up playlist. Okay, I don't gatekeep information. Alrighty. All of that's free on our Google playlist called Boss Up with the brain emoji and sparkly. It means you boss up your brain. Okay, alrighty. So if you go on that playlist, there is 200 and almost 50 books, different videos about different things in the spiritual realm and community. Okay, things about alchemy, right? I don't have a lot of any lot of witchcraft videos. There's astrology videos in there, right? There's books about the Torah in there, books explaining Hinduism, Buddhism, right? So basically, like we talk about religion because of its connection to spirituality, right? So that's why we still talk about religion on this channel. Okay, we're not talking about religion from the religious standpoint. We are using it for our research, okay, to get more information about the spiritual realm and the physical realm. Okay, so that is why we research and decode the Bible, why we spend time using etymology on the Bible. I put the link in previous videos, okay, so if you don't have the etymology website to do your own research, right, and you don't have dictionaries from the last 1,000, 2,000 years, um, that website is in the description of those other videos that we did etymology on YouTube, okay? Because I want you guys to have that so you can do your own research. So if you read the Bible, okay, understand that the word to hurt somebody, to, M them, right? To M them, right? MR at the end, right? To MR is not the same thing as it meant 2,000 years ago. Okay. Um, right, so the thing with etymology, what people we learned in etymology is that the words that we know today did not have the same meanings, and they changed meaning based on their context clues in their reading. Okay, so like I said, unless you got dictionaries from the last 2,000 years, okay, especially with how many changes English has made, right? Unless you got all of that, which this website does have a lot of dictionaries from the last few thousand years. Like they have been, this is like their soul's work, where they just purely buy really old dictionaries and put the etymology of words on this website for you. So literally, they're breaking down every single word. Of course, sometimes they can't find how far back that word goes because they can't get the information. You know what I'm saying? But they do. The person does have a whole page on there talking about their research and how they've gotten those dictionaries and stuff like that, so they could be able to help us with etymology. You know what I'm saying? So instead of you having to spend 6 hours on Google or 6 hours in a dictionary trying to figure out the origins of a word, you just look it up on that website and boom, all of its history is right there. Even where it started, where it came from, the roots it started in, you know what I'm saying? All of that, boom, right there. What it originally meant back in the time when it first started popping up versus what it means today. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of words that have changed their meanings since 2,000 years ago. You know what I'm saying? A lot. A lot. Right? I didn't even realize how bad it was until we started doing the book of Job, and there was a lot of words. You know what I'm saying? I don't repeat words, but if we already looked up that word, we're not looking it up again. But you know what I'm saying? But each new word was like, that's what it used to mean. What? Like, of course the context of the Bible is taken out of is so taken out of what is supposed to be there, because the words have changed so many times we don't even know what we're reading anymore. Like at this point the words have changed their meaning so many times. What was originally written in Latin does not have the same meaning in English as it did 2,000 years ago. Okay, remember that. That's why there's a difference between having, the spiritual veil over your eyes versus it being lifted, versus you using your spiritual discernment versus you not. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a difference between reading the Bible and going, I'm using the knowledge of man today versus I'm using the knowledge of man thousands of years ago. There's a difference. Right? And we got to remember that, okay? Because a lot of people forget. A lot of people forget that a lot has changed. Words don't have the same meaning no more. Meaning how we interpret the Bible in today's time, right? The words, you when it's not even a direct translation back into Latin. You know what I'm saying? Latin has changed over the last 2,000 years. So what I'm saying, so none of it directly translates back into the original text because it has all changed. And then there's missing books and stuff like that. So it's like, I understand, you know what I'm saying? If you've been reading the Bible, the Bible your whole life, and you never knew that you were supposed to, use etymology like pastors, bishops, priests, the Pope. You know what I'm saying? Like they know, okay, because that's what they learned at school. That's how they learn it at school. You know what I'm saying? If you go to a seminary school, if you go to a theology school, that's how they learn. They learn etymology. You know what I'm saying? They do that. Okay, so they know how to decode the Bible. They're not teaching the churches how to decode the Bible, right? I'm like, in all my years of going to churches, literally my pastor that I have now is the closest one I've seen try to tell the truth about the Bible. The closest one I've seen in my life. You know what I'm saying? Try, and they do try, but it's like, being sworn to secrecy and everything once you graduate school. Okay. It's kind of hard. To be like, let me tell the masses about the wonderful things I learned about God in school. Then, didn't you just swore that you weren't gonna go out here revealing the secrets of the Lord to the people? Because unless they come do this work, they don't need to know. Hey, I'm just saying, if you never been part of pulpit, if you never been, you know what I'm saying, you never went to theology school or seminary school, you know what I'm saying, right? They definitely keeping things from you. Okay, you think the Vatican don't have the lost books of the Bible? Italy, stop playing with me. Like, so I just started meditating and I just had reconnection with my dreams. Okay. And you said you saw my soul as a golden light, period. Girl, sorry, my bad. I just be out. But but nobody think you weird. uh yeah, you like that tells me like your clairvoyancy gifts are very like innate, like they're very strong, like those are the ones that come easiest to you. Okay, so you could even see people's aura fields around them too. Like I think we were talking about you seeing colors around us the other day, right, when you were on here. So I think like your clairvoyancy, like that's all in that realm, you know what I'm saying? So I would definitely strengthen those gifts there, so you have better control of them. Okay, yeah, and just trust yourself because it's all good. Oh, Tyson, you ready to go? He didn't think I was gonna be on this long. I'm not. We not gonna do a 4 hour live, guys. I got other things to do today. But I love you guys. Okay, y'all know I always try to be getting off in here, and then I'd be talking for another like 20, 35 minutes. I swear to God, I'd be like somebody's pastors. Okay, so anywho, I will see you guys tomorrow. We will be doing our lesson day. Do I know if we're going to get back into our decoding of the Bible, or if we're going to read our book of wisdom? Okay, there's like, you know what I'm saying? Two directions this could go. All right. And I feel like we just did an audiobook last week, so I don't want to do an audiobook this week because we finished the last book, so I would have to choose a whole new book for us to start. And we don't get through more than about 10 to 15 minutes together on the video because I talk. You learn that about me as you as you witness my I talk. Okay. And anybody who tried to make me feel ashamed of that will get banned. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just how I am. All right. So we got the Book of Wisdom here too. Wait, did we do this last week? We did do the Book of Wisdom last week. Oh, I'm like, I swear we did. Okay, yeah, the dimensions of consciousness are next. The astral plane. That's a really cool picture. I love that. Astral projection. Oh shoot, should we just do this? Merkaba, a celestial sphere to portray different planes of reality. I might learn something new on that page. Okay. Um, consciousness. Oh, chakras. We already know that's my favorite one. The chakras. Okay. It's so I'm so why did I write it in the book when it's already written in the book? I didn't know that. I wrote it out over here. Like remember we were taking notes last Tuesday. I wrote it out in the book, but if I just waited a few more pages, it was already written in the book. You know what? It is what it is. I like this. Yeah, this is all it's about the chakras. Head. Oh my goodness, there's some very, very interesting topics coming up. Oh my god. Okay, wait. Don't do that to me. I get excited talking about these things. Know thyself. Left brain and right brains. We're gonna talk about science. Oh god, the 5 elements. Okay, wait. I'm getting too excited. I'm getting ahead of myself, guys. There's a lot in here. There's a lot in it. I do recommend buying this book. At least. At least. Okay. You can find it on the TikTok shop. Okay. But I do recommend buying this book of wisdom. If you are new on your journey, and I need you to take it a page at a time, a day at a time. Okay? A page at a time, a day at a time. Do not read this book like this. You might hurt your psyche and your understanding of this realm. Okay? Alrighty, because when you go and you get this fast through this much life changing information, Yeah, that's what we would call spiritual psychosis, right? Because especially if you have not had an ego death, and you don't know if you've had an ego death, and you know you still feel like you know, learning this information very fast, and you haven't gone through a full ego death yet, can be very detrimental for your mental health. Okay, I'm telling you all this from experience. Do I want y'all to learn, grow, and evolve? Yes. But do I want y'all to realize it is not a race? Yes. Okay. Don't think you would have to be somewhere. Okay. Anywhere fast. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is exactly where they're supposed to be at on their journey at this point in time. Okay. All right. So I just saw people like seeing the color of sounds. So they say it is something like a disease. So how can I be sure it's not a disease or if I have powers? And schizophrenia is clairaudient, right? People with schizophrenia, they have clairaudience, meaning they have a spiritual gift that has been misconstrued by people in the physical realm to be seen as crazy, as they hearing voices, right? But that's an actual gift. You know what I'm saying? We write off somebody as crazy or sick as a disease before we think it's a gift, right? That's how it's been for years, okay, around the world. It's nothing new. It's nothing new around the world. I mean, I told y'all, one of the missing books from the Bible was about psychics. Okay, so anybody with the clairvoyant, clear ability, okay, all right. Anybody, you know what I'm saying, like all of that. There was a book on it in the Bible. Okay, which shouldn't surprise anybody because Jesus. Like, it shouldn't surprise anybody. There's a book in the Bible about psychics because Jesus exists. You can't tell me you believe in Jesus, but you don't believe in psychics. You don't do that. Don't do that, man. Don't do that, please, please. That's so weird. That is so weird to me. Like, you mean to tell me you believe that bro walked on water, but you don't believe not a single other person could do it in their lives if they trained as hard as Jesus did, because Jesus trained. Last time I checked, that book talked about my bro going out there and being like, "Let me go ahead and get my mind together, get my, you know what I'm saying, get my body, get my soul right." Like, he went in there, he did his thing. He came out mystical as ever. You know what I'm saying? She came out mystical as ever. Like, yeah, I can walk on water now, y'all. Gotta tap into y'all God consciousness for real. Jesus was out here trying to tell people to tap into their God consciousness, right? To get that 33 vertebrae, the Christ oil up the 33 vertebrae, right? Spinal fluid. Your soul enters and exits through here, right? Trying to get that up and through into to activate the thalamus gland, right? What, your thalamus gland, your pineal gland, right? Your crown chakra and your third eye chakra, right? That's what your spinal fluid does. When it comes up here, it activates the third eye chakra and your crown chakra. Okay. Um I'm talking about science now, right? So yeah, you see, science, spirituality, religion, it's all interconnected, all intermingles with one another. You take lessons from here, you take lessons from here, you take lessons from here, because you're trying to find the what? The whole picture, the bigger picture, right? Not just one or the other and using it to frame some kind of idea, but the actual bigger picture, okay? Um, Period, Abu. I take my job very seriously as an intuitive guide, okay? Helping y'all get to where y'all got to get to on your journey, okay? All right. Trying to see y'all, everybody living their best timelines, okay? Destiny timelines only on this planet. I don't want to see nobody living no other type of way, okay? We can't keep living like the way that we was living just not right no more. Is this the right way? You think you put it in? No. Wrong. Okay, yeah, that was the right direction. Yes. So anytime you have questions, comments, or concerns, okay, and remember, we can deep dive questions a lot more in our Discord server than we can on live. Okay. So if you have questions, then put it on here so y'all know where it's at in the bio. Okay, it's in the bio. But join the Discord server, okay, so that you can have those kind of conversations with other like-minded individuals and me. Okay, so I want y'all to be able to have that, right? Because like I said, I can't always discuss too many conspiracy theories on live. Um, YouTube long form videos, I could talk about them all day. I have literally an entire 6 episode series on the Matrix and about the things they were gonna try to pull in this year, from 4 years ago, right? So like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can talk about the Matrix all day on YouTube, but I can't talk about it, TikTok just be a little weird when you talk about the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about conspiracies, TikTok get a little anal. You know, TikTok is like, hey, stop spreading misinformation. And it's like, TikTok, you know, when this information comes out as truth, right? You're gonna be sitting there looking stupid, telling me to stop when you're the one basically trying to get me to cover it up, and I'm not gonna lie. All right, so until my last, yes. Um, yeah, telekinesis definitely one of those gifts. I have not met anyone personally that can use telekinesis. Um, that's one of those things where I feel like I would have to become one of the monks out in, out on a hill somewhere in the desert, and really focus my mind, right, and literally like hone in just on telekinesis. You know what I'm saying? Um, but for others it might be something like they might have it like so easy, like it might just come to them so innately, so naturally, that they can just use it with after like a little bit of training. You know what I'm saying? Whereas I'm like no, need to go off and, so, like separate myself from people so that I can, be in isolation. I can really get my gifts up. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I would need it. I would definitely have to learn from somebody else on that one. But there's like different things like telepathy is just reading energy, right? You it's just an energetic signal being sent through each other's brains. You know what I'm saying? Basically what phones do. Ooh. Basically what phones do, you know what I'm saying? Where it like pings to each other, right? Through like an energetic satellite, yada yada yada, is doing all that through the cables and stuff like that. But if we think about how fast electricity is moving, right? It is moving, it's electricity is an energy, you know what I'm saying? So it's moving right as fast as we can send an energetic electric message, right? Because when you have a thought, it sends a spark in your brain, right? When you have a thought, you have a spark go off in your brain. That's the electric part, right? So that spark, right? When you send it to someone else, you are like, you know what I'm saying, telepath. You know what I'm saying? Sending a thought to their way, okay? And if they're aware, they're going to get that ping in their brain. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna hear it. Sometimes you hear it as your own voice. I've never heard of anyone hearing it as another voice, but somebody else's voice. But usually you hear it as your own voice, and it's like, "Hello, who's talking?" You know what I'm saying? So, it's different. Everybody has their strengths. He lifted a barrel with his mind. Period. Period. Yes, I can't. You know what I'm saying? I want the people that know how to know how to do telekinesis to come find me, bro. Like I need you on my team, bro. I need you on my team. We facing some dark evils out here, and I need somebody that can I can do some L type of behavior. You know what I'm saying? I need helicopters on the ground. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Where's my L at? Okay, where y'all at, bro? Where are all the telekinesis people? I swear to God, if the government got all of them, bro, I'm gonna be mad. Using electricity as a power, yeah, elements are, you know what I'm saying? Hey, bro, y'all, there's a lot of shows that try to tell us, man. A lot of shows. A lot. Okay, they really did. They tried. Okay, because I told y'all, X-Men didn't lie to y'all. X-Men. So you say you see somebody using lightning, electricity. You know what I'm saying? Lightning is pure electricity. You know what I'm saying? Which is, if we understood how to, you know, trap lightning in a device to, you know, power our grids, we wouldn't need all this other stuff. But because we still haven't figured that out, I don't know what we're doing, but you know what I'm saying. And apparently, it's because you need a large, you know, you need something that can conduct it. You know what I'm saying? You need something that's going to be strong enough. And it's like, all these years. First off, the pyramids are strong enough to conduct it, so let's stop there. But you know what I'm saying? The pyramids are the ones that are built to take lightning through it and send it. Okay, but we're not using them. Okay, they don't want to talk about it. So let's spend a trillion some dollars on building a piece of electronic that can do it. Okay, so if you're not gonna use it, you know what I'm saying, then if you're not gonna use the free energy that we have on this planet, the free resources that we have on this planet to power things, right? What's the point? You know what I'm saying? What's the point of it even being there? You know, like, okay, like, what is the point? But yeah, like I said, that's why, you know, they are they're probably not going to release that information unless we keep pushing for them to release that kind of information, because there's no way we're still going to war over fossil fuel. Like like you're lying. I think as a collective, as a whole of humanity, we really need to lock in. Right? We really need to lock in and be like, people are still using fuel, like that's how they're powering, like that's how they're powering their cars, you know what I'm saying? 444. And I mean, in a sense where, like, everybody has to be on the same accord, energetically and physically, right? If we're not all on the same page that no one should be using fossil fuel anymore, right, then we can't not bring about that change, right? If there's still some people thinking that it's okay and it's not destroying our planet, right, then those people are the reason why we need to push more on that energy, because it's not just the, you know, people who have no knowledge, so to say, so to say, with the free energy, but because they just don't want to branch out, right? They've known fossil fuel for so long. Plus, all the oil companies, you know what I'm saying? These BlackRock, Vanguard, you know what I'm saying? These investor companies that invest in the oil companies, you know what I'm saying? Why did Donald Trump call the oil company CEOs? Because the oil CEOs had to then go call BlackRock and Vanguard. They're investors. Is there, the money is there. Follow the money and see where it leads. I promise you, they snitch on themselves because money never lie. All right, wherever they put their money into, it's not gonna lie because that's where it's at. Right. So yes, some billionaires have, like, yeah, because you know, like they you know, act like it's this big thing, go into an electric car, but honestly you need to stop selling fossil fuel cars and cheapen electric cars. You know what I'm saying, even sunroof powered cars, so that, you know what I'm saying, and so that's easy for everyone to get one. At this point, the country can afford to give everybody a car and a house, and it's just acting like it's not. Like this world is rich enough where it could give everybody a house a car, and some land, and everybody on this planet would be fine. Promise. That's how much we got on this planet, right? Everybody can get a house, everybody can get a car, everybody can get some land if they want to grow some stuff on it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, every single 8.5 billion people can get a house, a car, and some land, and we all be comfortable. That's what these billionaires not thinking like. That's what these governments aren't thinking like. You know what I'm saying? They see it as we gotta stay as separate nations and stuff. I'm telling you, dismantle all nations. Dismantle the segregation. Dismantle all of this diversity. You know what I'm saying? Dismantle our separation. You know what I'm saying? People are uneducated about other parts of the world because their country doesn't want to educate them. That's not okay. It's not fair. You know what I'm saying? And when I say world peace, right, that applies to China and China. That applies to Russia and China too. Like that we're not just talking about some countries. We're not just talking about some pieces of land. Everybody got to be free for all of us to be free. Simple as that. No more dictators worldwide. All right, and they could be mad at me all they want. They could, you know what I'm saying? The dictators could be mad all they want because I'm gonna still be talking about like this, regardless if we got 1,000 family members or we got 1,000,000 family members. Got it? So I'm gonna still be talking like this, regardless. And if they want to put a hit on your girl, hey, I'm ready for it. I'm waiting on it because at this time, my gifts had me on alert before you can even think about it. You know what I'm saying? And I am not scared of them, right? Not scared of the American government, not scared of the Russia government, not scared of the China government. Not a single one of them. Okay. Um. So it's just yeah, like worldwide things need to change. Okay, there's no way we will not allow these generations to ever know what a dictator was unless it's in the history books. Right? That's it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? There will be no real life demonstrations of Soviet Unions and the whole China. I forget the name of it. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like there is not going the Communist Party. Whatever. So yeah. So there no more of that. There is not going to be a world where kids grow up knowing that China is run by a communist party and Russia is run by the Soviet Union, right? There's not going to be a world where that ever is allowed to slide again. Okay, and that's the world we're cultivating at this time, is where stuff like that is not going to slide. These other little countries that are in Central America that got dictators too, not gonna slide. The only way our children are going to learn about dictators is because it will be in their history books. That's it. Not because they live in a world where it is still set up that there are dictators and communists controlling masses of people. Like, no, no, no. We ain't doing that. And I'm all up for the bloodless coup. I'm all up for the bloodless coup world round. Okay? We could do a bloodless revolution. It can happen. Worldwide. It can happen. We just gotta get our stuff together, okay? Energetically and physically. Um, you said that Trump gonna take over Greenland. Yeah. With some BS that Russia is gonna take the land. Yeah, I mean they say all that, you know what I'm saying? They say all of it like it's not stupid. You know what I'm saying? They say it like it's not stupid to say. You don't threaten the way the world is right now, especially this is why I say I want to get rid of all of this division in the world. Because the way the world is set up, you're not gonna attack somebody else's land like that. We aren't all one big earth, you know what I'm saying? Like we used to be before the earth split up, and all the land split into different parts and corners of the earth, right? We aren't there anymore, okay? So we can't just all just walk onto people's lands and be like, oh, hey, Europe is the only place that is really like that, where you got multiple countries on top of each other, and you just got to cross that one line, and you already in a different country. You know what I'm saying? In the United States of America, right, we have Mexico and Canada, but it's like, dude, it's not the same in the sense as how Europe is, because it's like we have that, then we have the borders, right? And then, they have their provinces, they have their cities, you know what I'm saying? We have our states, right? So it's like it's just a tad different, versus like in Europe, where like countries are literally right on top of each other. You know what I'm saying? Where you literally can turn around and you're in another country, So that, saying you're gonna go and you're gonna step onto somebody's land, right, that has, a whole squad talking about they'll pull up too, that don't even make sense to me. Like, it doesn't make sense, like, at all. Because what do you mean you want to go and tank Greenland? You know what I'm saying? And this is why I want y'all to understand that BRICS and NATO work together anyway. Y'all like, what? Yeah, BRICS and NATO work together anyway. They got a World Bank, guys. There's a World Bank. There's a World Bank. Uh, that means every single country investing in the same bank. You know what I'm saying? Money rules the world. You know what I'm saying? We got a World Bank that every country agrees. That's how we investing in other countries, or we're doing stuff that needs to be. There's a World Bank. If they weren't in cahoots, why do we have a World Bank? What's the purpose? you know, like, that's why I be telling y'all, like, it's not even NATO's versus BRICS. It's the New World Order, and you know what I'm saying? It's the world government. That's it. It's the world government. We all want to believe that these governments are separate from each other, but they're not. Like, they're so not. They have all been in cahoots for however long, okay? Alrighty, and that's what the Jeffrey Epstein files is going to release, is how long these governments have been in cahoots with one another, okay? Like, it's like, dang, that's why they sat there and did a botch, okay, redaction on the Epstein files, right? They botched it because they just wanted, to get it out before the date was released. But it's like, y'all had 6 years to redact the information you didn't want to get released. Y'all didn't think that the spiritualist community was going to be cultivating enough positive energy and enough light on this planet to bring out that darkness, so that we can get that to the forefront, so people could see what you were doing in the background. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you didn't think it was going to come out because you didn't think we were cultivating that much energy, but we were whole time. They underestimated this awakening, this mass awakening. I'm gonna let y'all know right now. They underestimated it big time, and they feeling it. They feeling it. They are feeling it. That's why they talking about, let's go attack Greenland. Like, y'all scared. Y'all try to cause chaos and panic within not just one nation, multiple nations. What happens when you attack one country as one of the big three countries? What happens? It's not just turmoil for your people, it's turmoil for the rest of the world too. You know what I'm saying? So them trying to spark ideas to get World War III out. Like, if you haven't been paying attention to some of the movies that they've been out, but you know what I'm saying? They use movies to try to get a certain energy out there to the public. You know what I'm saying? They use the movies, the TV shows to show you certain things, or try to guide your thought process so that you will curate that energy they need to bring in that certain timeline, regarding the World War III and regarding the Civil War movies that have been recently been released in the last year or so. So if you've seen a Civil War movie in the last year or so, it's because the government was trying to get you to manifest the Civil War. against your own will, because you'd subconsciously be doing it, not consciously be doing it, and that's where ignorance is bliss. Right? So y'all know I could get into it all day, every day. Okay, I just want y'all to remember that these people, that they're all, you know what I'm saying. There's no separation. You know what I'm saying. It's naive to believe that there is, right? Just because we have the Department of Homeland of Security, just because other nations have militaries and armies too, like, you know what I'm saying. Like, if England really wanted to, let's go back all the way to like the American Revolution. If England really wanted to, right, it could have dominated America. Like, if they really wanted to snap on us back in the American Revolution, you know what I'm saying? If they really wanted to nip all of that in the bud, you know what I'm saying? Oh, okay, no, wait, because then we signed a treaty. You know? And then we signed a cahoots treaty. Oh, okay. We like y'all like us, y'all see us as a nation now. Cool. Like, but we don't know what they signed away. We don't know what was on those papers, as much as they like to sit here and be like, we told y'all. No, y'all didn't. We don't know what y'all discussed behind closed doors. We never know what happens behind closed doors when it pertains to these governments, right? Unless they're like, okay, let's put the cameras out. We gotta show them what they, you know what I'm saying. But every time they pull them cameras out, people act like they don't know how to do their jobs. I don't know if y'all noticed that. You know, you know what I'm saying? If you watch any of the House or the Senate's videos, especially in the last couple of years, right? If you're in the United States of America, it's like every time they turn them cameras on, the people in them seats in the House and in the Senate don't know how to do their job. I ain't talking about no Jasmine Crockett now. Jasmine Crockett gonna do her job. I'm talking about everybody else in them seats that be saying the stupidest things. I didn't even know this video was a real thing. Um, when they did the hearing for the TikTok original CEO, I didn't know that in that hearing, someone legit said to him they did not know where Singapore was. You're a representative of the House, and you don't know where Singapore is at? You don't know where Singapore. You said on live television, you grabbed a world map and you couldn't find Singapore. What? What? You're lying. Okay. Then bring somebody smarter to you than you next time to look at the map. Okay, somebody who knows how to actually read a map. Okay, so they can point out Singapore next time for you. Okay, because there's no reason you, as the representative of the House, are talking about. I looked at the world map and I couldn't find your country. Why? Why did you just out yourself like that to the entire world? That you are a little bit slow and you probably should not be running a country or be in a position to make decisions about that country. If you don't even know about foreign affairs, you don't know nothing about Singapore, one of the wealthiest countries in the. That's old money rich. Old money rich. That's old wealthy. That is not new wealthy. That's old wealthy. What are you talking about? You don't know where Singapore is at. What? No, I'm tripping. Like, just tripping. Cause red. Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Abu. Excuse me, but yeah. Yeah, guys. All right, I'm gonna head off. I will see you guys tomorrow. I know I keep saying it, and then we sit here and we talk for a good like 30 minutes, but I am genuinely heading off now. I do got to go take care of some things. I love you guys. You guys are so amazing. I love spending time with y'all, talking to y'all, getting into the nitty gritty. Remember to join our Discord server if you do want to talk about some of the topics that I cannot fully discuss on the live streams because you know how TikTok is, especially with those new American buyers, you know. So we're gonna keep most of the, you know, in-depth conversations on Discord, okay? So please join that Discord server, especially if you like the things that we talk about on a regular basis. All right, all right. I love you guys. I will see you. It's the emojis. I get you, Abu. I will see you guys tomorrow, okay? Y'all have a blessed day. Remember, we speak love, justice, and peace. All right, I will see y'all